Me, but also you. The Pharaoh fast forwards his favorite foreign film, Powder Donut. Okay, what's my line?
The only line I see here on the script is get options based on your budget with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive.
Oh man, that's a tongue twister, huh? I'm sorry, I'm gonna need a few more minutes. Bulbous Walrus, the Bulbous Walrus.
The Name Your Price tool, only from Progressive.
The owl ran afoul of the comatose coxswain.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Me, but also you. The Pharaoh fast forwards his favorite foreign film, Powder Donut. Okay, what's my line?
The only line I see here on the script is get options based on your budget with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive.
Oh man, that's a tongue twister, huh? I'm sorry, I'm gonna need a few more minutes. Bulbous Walrus, the Bulbous Walrus.
The Name Your Price tool, only from Progressive.
The owl ran afoul of the comatose coxswain.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
What's up, everyone? Freddie the Pizza Man here, host of the Pizza Man podcast. Now joining forces with ChristopherMedia.net. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, the Pizza Man podcast, and of course, find all the podcasts on ChristopherMedia.net. We talk Detroit sports. I bring on guests, passions, opinions, all for Detroit sports and more. We even talk pizza. So thanks for tuning in and spread the word.
Christopher Media, let's make some noise. Welcome to Beer Nuts, a weekly excursion into the world of craft beer, brought to you by MichiganBeerGuide.com. And now, here are the Beer Nuts.
Welcome to Beer Nuts number 102. I'm Chris.
This is Dugout.
This is Uncle Pete. And Greg's here.
And JR is on the side of the road somewhere. Now, he had car trouble earlier today on vacation, so the rare show where JR will not be joining us.
He said he may join us later. He's looking at about a 45-minute delay. He's almost home. So he'll try. But
I'm sure either way he's having a beer.
Well, he is driving at the moment. I just spoke to him, so...
Well, I mean, when he gets home, you know.
Of course. That's the Michigan beer guy.
So this is, we're doing American Pale Ales, because this is technically our 4th of July show. So, you know, it's kind of similar to last week's theme was what? Summer drinkers. This would be American Pale Ales, obviously, because of the 4th of July. And then Pale Ales, I mean, again, it's summer. It's the time of year where you drink the lighter fare, so to speak, when it comes to the beers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised we didn't have more Pale Ales on last week, but maybe we sort of knew this episode was coming and saved them all for this week.
Exactly.
It sounds like we got a really good lineup this week.
Yeah, there's plenty of them to go around, that's for sure. And what a great way to honor what birthday would it be for America this year? I lost count, but coming up on Independence Day, American Pale Ales would be a great tribute. So, what is this episode 102, right?
Yeah, and 242 for America.
242 years. Wow.
God, that makes me feel old. I remember the bicentennial. That's why.
That's right. I do too. Yeah.
Wow.
I was born on the bicentennial.
I was in grade school, so.
Here's still gleam in my father's eye on this bicentennial.
Wow. Smitty was born on the bicentennial. That's awesome, Smitty.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to Beer Nuts, everybody. If you're just joining us, please grab a cold one, whatever you like. It's all good. We're all here just to share and spread the gospel of good beer. Pop a top and sit back and enjoy it with us as we drink up some American Pale Ales. Everybody's here, so I think we were going to start with Dugout, right? And what do you got?
All right, yeah. First up is from Ellison Brewery, Michigan brewery. Ellison is in Okemos, Michigan, which is just on the east side of East Lansing, just blocks away from Michigan State University. And, they've been around a couple years now, and I really enjoy their beers. I know they've been getting into making spirits. I know we've reviewed beers from them before, but I don't believe we've reviewed this particular one, which is Dawn Street Pale Ale. I didn't get a chance to. I think they're on Dawn Street, so maybe that's hence the name. I didn't get a chance to look into too much of this beer. Other than that, it's sort of one of these hybrids it borders on New England IPA, but it's a pale ale, but it still retains some characteristics of a traditional pale ale. So it's an interesting beer. It's really nice, attractive, kind of magenta colored can. Just kind of a very basic sticker on the 16-ounce can. It pours a beautiful milky straw color, very much on the yellow side of things. As far as the nose goes, it's you just get a lot of fruit. You get melon and lemon and mango and maybe just slightly herby, and I could smell this beer for days. It smells so delicious, just so fresh smelling, fresh fruit. Give it a sip here. So a lot of juiciness right up front. Just a little hint of some bitterness to it, but it's got like kind of a nice smooth pale malt base to it. Just slightly biscuity, but it's pretty dank, and but it's also got a sweetness on the second side. It doesn't have a real bitter finish to it. Almost the bitterness is just about as much of drinking some grapefruit juice, which to me that's always a welcome bitterness. The mouthfeel is pretty light, almost. I wouldn't say watery. I mean, it's got some substance to it, but it does have a very light body to it. The ABV is actually a little bit high for a pale ale. Actually, it's a lot high for a pale ale. Pale ales typically come in 5 to 6.2%. This one's ringing in at 7.1. So bonus for us is the way I look at it. But super crushable. Just, it's one of them beers where if you pull this out at a party and people hadn't really had a whole lot of experience with craft beer, they might actually be interested in this. The, a little touch of bitterness might turn them off, but as far as the drinkability goes, this thing's out of the ballpark. I know I've had this beer. I know I hadn't bought it and hadn't had it more than just a little sipper or a drink of it at the pub. And it really blows me away. I mean, this beer is fantastic. I mean, just definitely, if I were to rate it in the stars, like up to a 5-star rating, I'd say solid 4.25 all day long on this one, and maybe even a little higher. I mean, what a great summer drinker. Again, a little higher on the ABV, but what the heck? I'm a big boy and I can take it, right?
Are you sure?
I think so.
Oh, it sounds really, really good, Doug. I mean, they're in Lansing, you say, or East Lansing?
Yeah, Okemos, which is just on the east side of East Lansing. So if you keep going down that same street heading east, you'll run into Old Nation, which is one of our beloved breweries on this show. But, I'll tell you what, just they're about 10 miles apart from each other.
Yeah,
you would not be disappointed to hit Ellison. It's a great little spot. It's just tucked away in an industrial area. You wouldn't think it was in there. And you walk in, and all the brewery tanks are right there. And the bar is set up, and I've gotten sprayed with water from them cleaning tanks. I mean, that's just how open the pub is. And, some nice seating, but just a very local crowd in there. A lot of different ages. I've never been in there in the evening. I have some stops for work that are right around the corner from there. So if I do visit, it's pretty much early afternoon, which is right when they open, like about 3 o'clock. But I've always been impressed with these guys, and this one is no exception to that impressiveness. It's just they keep making really, really good beer.
Yeah, I'd love to get up there. Yeah, sounds good.
And you nailed it on the head, Doug. It's like you said, it's really tucked in there. You wouldn't even know it's back there. Nothing really large of a place, but great atmosphere once you go inside there, and everybody's really friendly with you when you go in. So, and you picked a crusher, that's for sure. That's a great beer.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the staff and the customers. I mean, even in your most worst mood, somebody would come up and talk to you and you'd start having a good time. I mean, it's just that kind of atmosphere. It's really welcoming, and just really a great place. I can't say enough good things about them.
Yep.
Ellison, yep, great. Get on over to Ellison, Okemos, Michigan. I know they got a lot of other good offerings as well, besides the one Dugout's talking about. And
well, they sure do. Yeah, they've got a tiramisu stout, which is quite nice, but they tend to run more towards the New England style of IPAs, but not 100%. Like murky, cloudy beer, everything juicy. It's just they offer their beers with a touch of the New England side, but they do have some bitterness to them. Just again, like I said, I can't say enough good things about these guys.
Good way to put it. Yep. All right. Wow, that's a tribute to American Pale Ales right there. Good start. Excellent. Mm-hmm. All right, then. I think we're going to go to Chris next.
Yes.
See what we got.
I have, it is called Hop Streaker Pale Ale. It is from Cross Strain Brewing Company, based out of Omaha, Nebraska. I've been reading these guys' website here, and it's a pretty interesting story. This brewery seems to have been around for about a year. It says two guys. They've been friends. They both they were home brewers. They decided to go full bore into the beer industry in 2013 when they began brewing for a brewery, learning the ropes there. But they raised some money, and in 2017 they opened up their brewery in Omaha, and I mean, now their beer is still only available in Nebraska, but it's already available in grocery stores out here, and I can tell you, I drank ahead. There's a reason why. I mean, let's just get right into this. I poured this, and even though I got the hotel glass, I got a clear glass this time. So for a pale ale, this is hazy. You cannot see through this. The color, I'd call it more, it's closer to orange than anything else. It's got this nice foamy cloud-like head that has been on it since I poured it. You stick your nose in it. I mean, you put your nose in this thing, you're thinking you're going to get an IPA. I mean, I'm smelling the citrus, the grapefruit, the floral. I'm going to take a sip of it. because it's delicious. Man, it's the third sip, still the same thing. You roll it around in your mouth. It's got a nice, smooth, kind of middle-of-the-road mouthfeel. And in your mouth, it tastes like it's going to finish like an IPA. But then you swallow it, and nothing. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. It's just the finish. I'm guessing that's what makes it a pale ale, because you get a little bit of that of the grapefruit and the aftertaste, but yeah, this thing smells and starts like an IPA, and then the finish it goes down nice and easy. 4.9% ABV, 23 IBUs. This could be dangerous. Like this is really good. I've been reading some of their other offerings. I think I found a new brewery to go check out when I'm in Omaha tomorrow night.
All right. That's always fun.
Yeah, Cross Strain, KROS, and the word strain. It's you guys' last names. If unless you're doing beer mail or you're like Lieutenant Dang and you're kind of close to Nebraska, yeah, kind of limited availability on this for now, but I bet you in a couple of years we'll be seeing this, we'll be hearing the name of this brewery a little more.
I know I've driven across Nebraska, and I don't see a whole lot except cornfields and truckloads of hogs and pigs.
I've gone the whole length of the state and back this week. Yeah, it's one big farm.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And we love it. That's the heartland of America.
I'll tell you what, Omaha is one of those cities that's bursting at the seams, and a lot of younger people have moved there for job opportunities, and it's actually has some really hip spots, and it's a hopping place. You think about 25 years ago, it was just like, oh my God. But it's not like that anymore. It's one of those transformed cities that, bring in a bunch of youth and look what happens to it.
Yeah.
Well, they got the old school steak restaurants there, I'm sure of it. And then now they're introducing all this great craft beer. So God bless them in the heartland.
All right. So who's next?
Who's next? Hey, good album. Yeah. Okay.
I guess
Uncle
it's
Pete's.
me, huh?
Nope.
Oh, no,
Pete's
Uncle Pete, your
next,
turn.
Then,
Never mind.
Then Schmitty. So,
all right.
Going over to my fridge here to get my beer. I'm on the road as well. I'm in Kalamazoo, Michigan. I've been here for about 3 days, and already stopped at probably 3 or 4 breweries over the 3 days, and sampling everything I can sample. And there's so many offerings of lighter beers and summer crushers, and it's great to go out and try them all. But I found one today, and we're going to share it with you. It's from New Holland Brewing. It's called Credits and Debits. It's American Pale Ale. And I don't know if it's a single malt and single hop beer, but I do know it is at least a single hop, and it's Pure Centennial. It's 5.2% ABV. And I did a flight today and had a small sampler of this, and so I got a crowler to go, a can that they fill for you right there on the premises of about 2 pints worth, a quart. So let's get it going here. I went down to New Holland Pub on 8th Street in Holland, Michigan, over on the Big Lake, Michigan today. And a great little brew pub there. They've got a 10-barrel system right there in the tap room, and they're doing so many batches. They got a big board on the wall with all these batches that are in fermentation right now and coming to a tap soon. But this Credits and Debits is a tap room only beer. It's not in the bottle, and it's not in cans available. But it pours nice copper, shiny copper color, great clarity to it, and beautiful white foamy head. Kind of not a real dense carbonation, more of a light, large bubble carbonation. Definitely a Centennial aroma. I know last week, maybe we didn't. I thought maybe we did a Founders Centennial IPA at one time. And so that's very strong on the nose with the Centennial hops. It's unmistakable. It's got a mild bitterness forward, not overpowering. A really good malt base in there that's supporting it all. It's bready and caramely at the same time. It's not overly sweet by any means, but the bitterness is a dry bitterness, kind of an earthy. The head is lasting real long time. Yeah, I think New Holland, I'm sure they're just keeping their tanks full with all kinds of crushers like these for the summer. As I said, this one's a pub only, so they don't do huge volume of it and put it in cans and bottles. But that's what makes it kind of fun, too, is to go out and have finds like these at the brew pubs themselves versus what's on your store shelves. So for people that are out there listening and you're fortunate enough to be able to visit some breweries in your region, yeah, make sure to get out there. And as an honor to America's birthday and Independence Day this year, try some American Pale Ales and let us know what you think.
Sounds
anybody
good.
Yeah, anybody, Doug, I know you like going to New Holland. Sometimes you're at the Knickerbocker branch up in Grand Rapids.
Sure, and then sometimes I'm at the 8th Street Pub. I probably trend towards the 8th Street Pub in the wintertime, which is, one
Quiet
neat
time.
thing about Holland, Michigan is in the downtown, all the sidewalks are heated with hot water from the power plant. And so you can just walk on the sidewalks with no ice, but it's a great little spot. The food there is good. There's always a great lineup of beers. There's a nice merchandise store, lots of different beers available, and bottles and cans and crowlers and growlers. And, my favorite thing about 8th Street Pub is it hops. I mean, and I don't mean this in the beer term. I mean it in the people term. It's got a lot of people in it at any given time, and across all different age groups. And, some people are dining and there's families in there, and then there's just a bunch of people at the bar. And, it's just one of them spots with a lot of good looking people, a lot of fun people, and I've never had a bad time in there. And
I'll vouch for that.
Just really a class act place. And, they've got their big brewery down the street, a couple miles down the street, but they still work those 10-barrel system. And they also have the distillery in that same building as well. So they do their own spirits. Really a big fan of their gin. And their orange liqueur is quite nice, as well as some of their whiskeys. And we've talked a little bit about their
beer barrel bourbon.
Their beer barrel bourbon as well, and that wasn't that long ago in an episode where we were talking about them. So they keep coming back on our show, and for a reason. I mean, they're a good brewery, and they're not the most cutting edge anymore, but everything they do just seems to be solid. They're not afraid to take a chance on a beer. I've had a couple that were just like, "Ooh, no, don't do that again." But again, they're not afraid to do it, and it's just a really great place to visit. And if you're ever in the area, there's a hotel right across the street, a really nice hotel, and some good places to eat right around there. As well as some good drinking establishments right on the same street.
Yeah, 2 doors down, another brewery, and 3 doors down, a huge tap room. So I walked the whole thoroughfare there today, dugout. Although it's summer and they didn't have to turn on the heated sidewalks, but that's a cool feature that I'm glad you mentioned it, because I wasn't aware of that, and I think that's really cool. But I was in there about 3:30, and you're right, the place was jammed. The beers were flowing. I'll be honest, I shared a flight of 8 with a good friend of mine, and we had every color under the rainbow on our flight. And the Dragon's Milk from New Holland is such a favorite. And speaking of the bourbon, I did a dram of the Beer Barrel bourbon and a dram of the Beer Barrel rye whiskey, and then a dram of the Zeppelin Bend, which was an oak-aged whiskey. And I walked out of there kind of floating around and really enjoying the flavors from even the distilled spirits. So we're getting off track. I'll get back on track here. Good job, New Holland. Pub on 8th for the credits and debits American Pale Ale with Centennial. It's delicious. And be sure to get out there and hit your local breweries and try some of their local American Pale Ales, everybody.
Absolutely.
All right. I think we'll go to Schmitty and see what you got to bring us tonight, Schmitty.
All right. So I'm going to present to you from Old Nation Brewing Company out of Williamston, Michigan, which is, like Doug says, about 10 miles down the road from East Lansing there. This is their Greenstone, their Pale Ale, 5.5% ABV, IBU 40. Comes in a 16-ounce silver can with a nice, white wraparound label. And just reading a few things off the label here, it's malted with pale oat, wheat, and rye. Their boil hops are Magnum, Michigan, I guess that's Michigan Chinook, Michigan Crystal, and dry hopped with also Michigan Chinook, Michigan Crystal, and Simcoe. So pour it into a glass here. Had a nice white foamy head to it. Dissipated fairly quickly. On the nose, just absolutely stellar. A lot of tangerine-esque flavors, juicy melons, mangoes, that kind of deal. Nice biscuity scent to it from the malts. Let's see what we get on the taste here. More of the same. But, you get that juicy taste to it. You also have a nice bitterness, which I think comes from those Magnum hops, and very dry finish. I mean, it's super crushable, 5.5%. I mean, perfect for these nice warm days that we're experiencing now. And this was, I think they just brought this back out here in the beginning of this month, here in June. This is taking over for Boss Tweed, which will be back in the fall. But this is a absolutely killer for this time of year, and glad I was able to pick some up, because it seems to be just completely flying off the shelves. Everybody's just swapping it up as fast as they can. So, great brewery, Old Nation. They got a great little hangout there in Williamston, just a little west of the downtown area there, off of Grand River, and or as we know it in beer term, M43. And so they got some great food in there, and great lineup on taps whenever you go visit. So, well done, Old Nation. Keep up the great work.
Yeah, that sounds great. I don't think I've had that one. I know I've had the Boss Tweed, the precursor to this one, and haven't had a bad beer from Old Nation. No.
Neither have I.
Awesome.
No, and I echo that sentiment as well. It's good to see that they found their niche with the New England styles, and I think I've read something just quite recently where they were listed as one of the top 100 beers in the United States, which is quite an honor, I think.
For a young brewery, yeah.
For a young brewery doing a New England style in the Midwest, that's impressive. And they were amongst some really good company. I can't remember right off the top of my head what the list was, but it wasn't just somebody's, let's kind of drink some beers and, write a bunch of stuff down. This was actually a well put together, well thought out list. But I happen to agree with it. It's they're doing some great things there. And what's even better is they're getting it out to people. It used to be you could only go to the brewery and get the beer. They had some limited distribution, and when it came out, it flew off the shelves. And you might have a couple hours window to pick it up, or it'd be gone. And then they were doing brewery-only releases, where you'd have to get in a line and spend a whole Saturday afternoon waiting to get your allotment of beer. And I don't know about you guys, I don't really see myself doing that on too many Saturday afternoons. I treasure them too much to have to wait in a line for beer.
There's plenty of other people willing to do it for us.
I know, that's right. That's how I got mine in the beginning. Sit back and I got this for trade, I think. But yeah, we've reviewed an extensive amount of their beers on the show, and nothing that we've reviewed has been disappointing at all. So
right. Cool, man. Well, American Pale Ales, there you have it. 4 great examples on this episode. Like I said,
if I could interrupt you for a bit, I have a 5th, and I know you guys have had this one, and this one's actually a homebrew. And it's it was called BAK, and it stood for Big Ass Kettle, because my friend Doug and I brewed a triple batch of beer in a 30-gallon kettle that belongs to our brewing club, which is KGB, Kunin Guild of Home Brewers, and that was the inaugural batch in the kettle. So we brewed a base beer, and one became a pale ale, one became an IPA, or 2 others became IPAs. Well, the one I have is the pale ale. It was on draft at the house when we did the 100th episode, so it passed quite a bit around, and I know you guys have had it, but I'm looking at it compared to the Ellison, which is that straw gold color, and this one's sort of more on the amber side of things. The head's still good on this one. It's got much more of a bready, malty flavor than the Ellison has, but still is within the style guidelines. So I guess that just kind of shows you what sort of breadth of diversity you can have in one style category. They can almost be night and day and be 2 different beers, but still be called the same thing. But this is actually drinking really well. It's one of the bombers that I had bottled off. It's bottle conditioned, so there's a little bit of a smudge at the bottom, but pretty nice and clear, and really drinking well at this point.
That's great. And when did it go into the bottle? How long ago? About
Oh, it's been in the bottle about 2 months now, I think.
All right.
Close
That's
to.
Cool. That's close enough to freshness for me.
Yeah. But you guys had stuff right off the keg, and then not long after that show, after we recorded that show, the keg completely blew, and I was not surprised because.
I think it's cool though that you can brew a huge batch of beer like that and then divvy it up and come out with a couple of different takes and sub-styles and stuff.
Yeah, different yeast, different. This BAK Pale was never dry hopped. Just came out of, but it sat for a while and just sat and clarified, and it's kind of grown into its own. It's got one more competition left, which is our beer club kind competition, which is tomorrow night at my house, and sort of amongst all the members of the beer club. So we'll see how it fares.
All right. Good luck. Yeah, that sounds. And I know you've been honored in the past on some other beers you've done, or another beer that I recall recently. And
and some I've been skewered with. So it just depends on, number one, the judge, and number two, how well you kept the style. And I can tend to experiment at times, and that doesn't lead you to style points within a rigid category. But that I don't care about. Those are the ones I don't mind losing,
Yeah. It's great to get feedback and constructive feedback, though, on your beers. When you get a good judge that knows what they're talking about and can really help you improve, what you're doing. So cool, man. Well, thanks for sharing the Encore beer there, Doug. That's a great ad. Well, everybody, raise a glass to America, the beer beautiful, and wish her
good one.
Happy 242nd birthday to America. If you have a American pale ale or an American beer of any kind, make sure you get them out and chill them out for the 4th of July and do your patriotic duty, just like the Beer Nuts will be doing.
Yeah,
America.
Save the Canadian beers for July 5th. Put them in the fridge for a day.
Put them. I think the first is what's that called? Is that Canada Day? The first.
Oh, that's right. I always forget about that.
Yeah. Oh, darn, we forgot. Oh, sorry, guys. Yep, we love you.
Yeah, we've even done Canadian episodes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, well, I don't think anybody's got any others. Chris, you got any others? Or Greg? Schmitty?
No, I'm good.
I have 5 others of the same beer.
Maybe the second one will be completely different. No.
Yeah,
let it warm up.
Well, let's do a little switch up, and before we leave, I guess I should say cheers to JR. We missed you on this one, but I know you're here with us in spirit. Hope you're home by about now and ready to sit back and relax, get out from behind the wheel, and have a great American Pale Ale with us. But we'll do a little switch up, maybe Doug out if you're willing. Take us home, and after that, Chris, you can put the boilerplate on and let everybody know about the Beer Nuts and how to get a hold of us and all that good stuff.
We're at Beer Nuts Podcast on Twitter. Email us beernutspodcast at christophermedia.net, and we're on Instagram at Beer Nuts Podcast. Simple as that.
Perfect.
You reach out. All right. Touch someone. Take us home, Dugout.
And as they say in old Mexico City,
If you like this show, please tell a friend. Please follow us on Twitter and like and share us on Facebook by searching for Christopher Media. You can subscribe to all ChristopherMedia.net shows for free on ChristopherMedia.net. Please make sure to rate and comment on all your favorite Christopher Media shows. Thank you in advance for supporting Christopher Media by clicking on the PayPal button and by clicking through to all the sponsors who support ChristopherMedia.net. Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net, and thank you for listening. Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Me, but also you. The Pharaoh fast forwards his favorite foreign film, Powder Donut. Okay, what's my line?
The only line I see here on the script is get options based on your budget with the name your price tool from Progressive.
Oh man, that's a tongue twister, huh? I'm sorry, I'm gonna need a few more minutes. Bulbous Walrus, the Bulbous Walrus.
The Name Your Price tool, only from Progressive.
The owl ran afoul of the comatose coxswain.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
There's a new Home Depot now open on Maurice Avenue in Maspath. And as home improvement projects go, this is a big one. Use the product locator on our app for an in-store map to find what you need fast. And check out our new pickup lockers. They make online shopping a breeze. Of course, one thing's not new. our everyday low prices. The Home Depot, now open near Maurice Avenue and Long Island Expressway in Maspeth, and always open at HomeDepot.com. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.